Good morning, wonderful XRP holders back home. I know the last few days have been great here, so you should buckle down. There's been a lot of good news. XRP just had a pretty strong rise and is now selling at $3.09. Soon we'll find out where it goes. We do have more good news coming up though. Grayscale has filed for their S1 for their XRP ETF. In a very basic sense, this means that they are just making some changes to their filing while waiting for it to be approved. Exchange Commission has been in touch with them several times to make sure they're following all the rules. This paperwork is being filed by Grayscale and that office together. It's clear that Grayscale is big, BlackRock is clearly very big. All of them will have XRP Etf'S and crazy amounts of volume will be made from them. At this point, this is something that is almost certain to happen. It's clear how excited people are about this. Grayscale will be able to make a lot more money than their rivals because they were the first ones to do this, which is putting pressure on everyone else. Now, as a first step, I did some study. For your information, I wanted to show you how much noise this could make because I believe it will have a big effect. With all the new XRP ETFs coming out, trades will be worth billions of dollars. This will change a lot about the future of XRP, including who can buy it, how they can buy it, and when they can buy it. Now, Grok says that Grayscale's ETF alone could bring in anywhere from 100 million to 500 million trades every day. Honestly, I think this is a pretty low estimate. If you look at the daily volume of Ethereum's ETF, you'll see numbers in the billions of dollars. More recently, I think that Grayscale could also bring in billions of dollars for XRP. We might need a little more time to get there. However, it will be very interesting to see how much traffic that is now. $500 million. That's a lot of money for Grayscale and a lot of volume. So I think they'll start running these huge ad campaigns aimed at people who may have missed out on the Bitcoin or Ethereum ETFs. Now is your chance. Now is your chance. I also believe they can make a very interesting ad that will be shown on social media, cable TV, and anywhere else to really get a lot of people interested. That's why I asked Grok, what could we see across all of the different ETFs at the same time? What do we think we might see? Grok thinks that the prices of all the XRP ETFs in the US, Canada, Brazil, and Europe could go anywhere from $700 million to $3 billion. Also, Grok is saying that it's very likely that the daily volume level of $100 million to $500 million per big spot ETF in the first few months will be reached. So if we even reach this more conservative estimate of $3 billion in daily volume, that's $3 billion more dollars that will be traded in XRP once all of these ETFs are accepted by all of these different providers. There was no such thing before. That's a lot of output, and this could, of course, in a huge snowball effect, people will start to realize that XRP is bringing in billions and billions of dollars in daily trades. I want to be engaged. I want to take care of myself. I'd like to keep some XRP for myself. As more and more people join in, you can see how those tsunamis of volume start to hit, creating amounts of volume that melt your face. I think this is what we're seeing here. We saw this happen with Bitcoin. This is happening now with Ethereum. This fits right in with altcoin season. It's almost too strange that these XRP ETFs were accepted at the same time. Also, it looks like we'll get big cuts here, and the markets are very optimistic about that. I also want to talk about that because look at this, guys. The heat has been really turned up by President Trump. A lot of people have heard him speak in public. Fed Chair Powell is too late for interest rate cuts, he says about this one. But it looks like Powell is cutting rates. If you didn't see it this morning, Jerome Powell had his Jackson Hole meeting. During that meeting, it was him who came out and said that inflation was going up a little and unemployment was going up. It's a tough spot to be in, but he dealt with it by presenting the facts and saying that they need to do something about the jobless. They can only really do something about the unemployment number by lowering rates. Some people think this is going to be a 25 basis point cut. A lot of people say it's a 50. With the way inflation is right now, I don't think a 50 is likely, but we'll see. Another interesting thing that Jerome Powell said was that he thinks the tariffs will only cause one price increase and not a series of price increases. If he is right, then he does indeed believe that the information he needs to start cutting rates right away if the price increase is only temporary. That would be great. And I have to say that if XRP tokens are approved and the 25 basis point rate change happens at the same time, that could send tens of billions of dollars through XRP alone. Just those two things, right? Just these two things are happening at the same time. And XRP ETFs will be worth a lot of money on their own. This will bring trillions of dollars into all markets, but most of it will likely go into cryptocurrency. That's a pretty big deal. And I believe a lot of people are excited about it. Over the past few years, we've been waiting for monetary policy to loosen up, and it's about time it did. With all of this going on, you can see that the market is very excited. Ethereum reached a new all-time high of $4,880. Is that really true? That is completely crazy. Of course, the XRP ETF also plays a big role in a lot of this. You know the talk that's going around right now. It is completely crazy. I can't wait to see how this changes. XRP is also shown on these charts. What's going on with prices is truly amazing. One 15-minute candle right here made XRP go up by more than 5.73%. After Jerome Powell's meeting in Jackson Hole, I want to make one more very important point. The bottom support is at 270, which is the bottom of the green line. The top support is at 314. Let's look at something that we will need to keep an eye on as this story goes on. What is going on with rate cuts? There is a serious downside if we don't get a rate cut, so that's something to keep an eye on. Right now, we can definitely touch that bottom support at 270 if news comes out in the next couple of days saying that rate cuts aren't happening, which is possible. In this market, there are a lot of surprises, which is something I think all of you should be ready for. As much as we all want things to go our way, they never do. Things are never always fine. I know there is a chance that the price will go down, but I am still ready to make a few more trades. In fact, just open one.